Is XRP about to take off? Today, we're going to focus on how to identify the trend early and then ride it until its end with high probability. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into XRP. So what we have on the chart right now is a new dashboard that I've been working on. It's a trend identifier. And what we want to do is identify the trend. Sometimes it's difficult when you're using multiple indicators. So I've simplified it. And hopefully next week, you're going to have access to this. You're going to be able to have this for yourself. So this is the larger degree trend. This is the lower degree trend. And then I've put a box, which is what to do. And here we can see it says, consider buying XRP. In other words, the trend is up with XRP and we want to look at it in a bit more detail. So first we want to be able to identify the trend and then look at the next part of the equation. So I'm going to pull up an XRP chart. This is a daily chart. Now initially it just looks like a load of noise, right? But if we simplify it, first put on closing data. It's like, is there any pattern position that we can recognize? Now, by the way, I'm going to do some analysis here. I'm going to save it and I'm going to give you access to this very chart. You'll be able to download it for free. It's in the description link below. I think I've got XRP. I'm pretty sure I have. Have I got XRP? Yeah, XRP is here. So it'll be here and I'll update it. I'll make sure it's saved. And then you'll be able to upload it view only, or you can upload it and then edit as you see fit. So what we're going to use is, we got the momentum, right? Momentum. If I just pull it up on this particular chart itself, I've got it in the bottom right-hand corner, exactly the same thing, but just for XRP. We can see that the bigger trend, which is basically the weekly chart, it's bull, meaning uptrend, so it's pointing up. And the lower I've set as the daily. Now we can edit this as well, by the way. I've set it up in a way where you can edit the higher time frame, lower time frame, and you can select the assets that you wanna look at. So you got a lot of autonomy. Again, we haven't released this yet, but it's pretty fantastic. I'm loving it myself. It's making my life a lot easier. But what in this action column, what to do? It just says consider buying, because a trend filter is a really strong indication, but is a part of the 4 elements that you want to use. So what we're going to look at next is pattern position. Is there any particular pattern that's evident with XRP that gives us more confidence that we're going to see a new upward movement, and ideally this high being exceeded? And we want to see, can we catch this trend early before it takes off? Because once it's taken off like this, then it's difficult to make money from it, right? We want to find it down here, ride the trend, and then exit up here. That's what we're looking to do time and time again with XRP and any other market as well. So what we're going to cover is Elliott waves, right? I love Elliott waves. In simple terms, it's how to measure mass psychology, crowd psychology in a practical manner. Markets tend to move in 5s and 3s, and with a bit of experience, you'll see this time and time again. And by the way, if you're brand new to Elliott Wave, we've got a Black Friday offer on. I'm just going to tell you this because some people watch the whole video, some people don't. 50% off my training. And what we're going to cover, you're going to get this whole thing for like less than £100, is Elliott Waves. We're going to talk about Fibonacci price. I teach you how to do this. You get my Telegram community. Fibonacci time, which we're not going to go into too much detail today. Entry to exit strategy, trading futures. You even get my trade plan. Normally it's like $4,000. Normally 197, we discounted it. Now it's another 50% off. So you're getting it at a ridiculous price for Black Friday. I think there's, as of now, 5 days, right? Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So take advantage of it, right? If you've seen my stuff, it's fantastic because it just helps, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do a 5-wave structure count. It looks like a nice move up. A complex wave 2, some type of wave 2. We've had this wave 3 impulse. Wave 3s tend to be the strongest, biggest waves, and we want to ride those wave 3s. It looks like an ABC correction for a wave 4, and then a final wave 5. And then what's followed, it looks like a pretty clean A, B, C. This is a pretty standard, most common ABC zigzag correction. I like to have bars, and the bars look like this, but sometimes just having closing data as a line chart just makes it easier to see. I'm just going to now leave it as the bar chart so we can see it like this and get the ranges in play. I'm also going to put a question mark here, and really this is to remind us that we don't know if this bottom is going to hold. It's just highly likely, right? Highly likely. So now we've got pattern position. So we've got 2 things. We've got the trend. Remember what the dashboard is telling us? Consider buying, because the lower degree time frame and the higher degree time frame, the bigger and the smaller trend, is pointing up. But there's a pattern position that says we might be at the end of an ABC correction. Now, what typically happens from a psychological standpoint, crowd psychology, is when a 5-wave sequence and then a 3-wave correction completes, what typically happens is a continuation of the prior trend. A continuation of the prior trend. So the expectations are this, right? Not in a straight line. It'll be more like a 5-wave structure, similar to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll be normally be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something along those lines. This won't be the shortest, so that's not a valid wave count. So what we're going to do next is we're going to look at some Fibonacci price. So let me now just remove the lines. We'll keep the letters in play, right? So next, what we're going to do is some Fibonacci price. So again, markets move in cycles and trends, rhythms, and crowd psychology. It's a psychology playing out time and time again. I'm just going to move this up here like so. In fact, we'll do it on closing data. It's just a bit more accurate with closing data when we're looking at weekly and daily charts. And it's good to look at the wider bars on the lower time frames, intraday, hourly charts, etc. So let's do a retracement first. So after you see a 5-wave move, market's typically correct. It's like a breather. And the typical maximum, most common, is 78.6% retracement. So what we're going to do is measure this low to this high. And the ratio I want to really pay special attention to is the 78.6. And we can see that the price is right in this range, right? It's right in this range. So that gives us a bit of confidence, and it's reacted to this as well. And remember, the trend is up. We're also going to do what's called an ABC correction. Most wave A's and wave C's have a relationship to one another. So what I'm going to do is just measure this wave A, do it relatively fast. This is what you get in my training, by the way, how to do this step by step. So take advantage of the Black Friday offer. It's another 50% off. It's ridiculous. We always charge like it's like £4,000 worth of value, and we're charging less than £100. So take advantage of it. It's until Monday, Cyber Monday. So now what we have is we have 3 things which are key, right? These are powerful things it's called a confluence of events. We got the trend. So we've got the trend. We're using the dashboard. We've got pattern, ABC correction. And we've got a price cluster zone. So now that's saying to us it's highly probable being the key word, that this low is going to hold. And if this ends up being a wave C, this high will then get exceeded. So there's a lot of upside movement potential, right? Make sense? So now it's all about entry strategy, going, right, how do we enter? We're not going to cover that much in too much depth today. I just want to show you one more thing today. It's another thing that we're working on. It's already done now. It's already done. It's basically this at the bottom right-hand corner of the dashboard, but we are going to also have, we're on version 1.2 right now, is to show on the chart itself. You're gonna absolutely love this, where it says what to do, consider buying. But we also put it on the chart itself, so we know the bullish reversals happened here, and this green arrow tells us right on this bar. It's now officially double time frame momentum, where the weekly trend is saying up and the daily trend is saying up. So now we want to consider buying. And then the buy signal will also come when it's double time frame. It's basically showing this dashboard, but in a different way on the chart. It just makes it a bit easier to see. So what do you think? Do you think XRP is going to go up to the upside? Do you think the fundamentals with what's happening in the markets is going to drive the price lower? I love just technicals, mainly because the fundamentals are actually baked in. So let me just finish on one last thing. Let's just do a simple strategy, right? A simple strategy, because I like to go to an hourly chart and see if I can get a tighter entry. But a simple strategy would be, and I'm going to do some price projections for you as well. If the price went above this high, this would indicate that this low should hold. And if the market then goes into be some 1, 2, like a 3, 4, 5, then we can look to take profits at this point. That'll be a simple strategy that you can unfold. So let's just now finish on one last thing, which is I'm going to show you 2 things actually. I'm going to take the macro into account as well. Let me do it like this. Let's just pull it up like this. Can I get this here? Yep, there we go. Boom. I'm going to do it like so. I want to take this part of the market into consideration. Let's just take the closing data and we'll do it like this. This will make sense to you in just a second. Right. What we're going to look at is how high, if this high gets exceeded, what's the minimum expectation and how high is the price likely to go? In a logical, mechanical, non-emotional way, no kind of just hopium and hoping for the best, we can have a business plan. So there's two things I want to really cover. When you get an impulsive move to the downside like this, it's quite common to get a correction as a minimum. So this will either be some type of 1, 2, and then a new trend to the upside, or, and we want to be ready for the or, it could just be an A, B, C correction in itself before a continuation to the downside, right? We don't need to concern ourselves with what it's going to be. The main thing is, in both circumstances, this price target should get hit more often than not. And that's how we want to trade this. So let's just do two things. Again, by the way, I cover this in more depth in my training with this offer. Again, this is really, we're now covering Fibonacci price, where we cover the details, the foundation, the intermediate, and the advanced. It's, you know, it's the closest thing that I ever found having a crystal ball to the markets. No crystal ball exists, but in my experience, this is the closest thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a retracement from this high in the top left to this low. And the three levels you want to be aware of is 50, 62, and 78.6. These are the typical correction levels. Now, there is a reasonable chance that the price will exceed this high. That will be a confirmation that a new trend, a bull trend, is on its way to the upside, right? But until that happens, we want to be more conservative and say, right, what's the minimum that's highly probable? And we want to be on high alert to take some profits at the minimum expectations. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, this movement to the upside would typically repeat itself from the wave C low, what we're calling this wave C potential low, right? And that can give us some very, very valuable information, because what we can do, I'm going to do it from, I'll do it over here. We'll measure this low to this high, and then we'll project it from the wave C, and we want to take in the two ratios. The most common is the 100%, which is where the red arrow is, this red line, and then 1.618. Why is that really relevant? And you want to be on high alert with these two particular ratios. Well, it's crowd psychology, buying and selling behavior based on how people have responded in the past. And what I mean by past, I'm not talking about years ago. I'm literally talking about this, April to June. That was not that long ago. But also this recent move up. There's a relationship to this next move up. How people feel about XRP, the market as a whole, crypto, and everything is baked in. The news is baked in, the fundamentals is baked in, all the fiasco with FTX and everything else is baked in. How the market, how the crowd is feeling. So it's likely I want to be on high alert for these two ratios. So how I see XRP come over the coming days and weeks is, as a minimum, if we get a continuation, I would like to long this. We should see the price hit around at least the 56 cent mark. 56 cent would be a good reasonable target now that the bullish momentum, the weekly momentum is bullish. We saw that in the dashboard. But then it may overextend into the 70 to 75 cent mark, thereabouts. And if we break this high eventually, then that looks like this is a 1, 2, 3, and then a continuation. And we don't need to concern ourselves with that right now. Right now is saying this is the minimum expectation. Some good profits can be made in that region. And then this is the overextended expectation. It's called a wave C or a wave 3. Let me just do this one last thing, actually, because this is important. This is really important. I want to make sure you know the thinking. Because it's hard to think in any business, because trading is a business effectively. Let me make it a little bigger. Let's go 28. So we don't need to concern ourselves too much. Is this a wave 1 or a wave A? Is this down here a wave 2 or B? Because wave 1 and A's and 2 and B's actually look pretty much identical. Right? I'll put a question mark there as well. So what I mean by that is, if the price tops out over here, then this will be more like a wave C. But if the price really overextends up here, then it's more likely to be a wave 3, right? But we don't know that right now. But for it to be a wave 3, it has to exceed this part anyway. So we can just plan for this part, take profits, and then if it overextends, then it gives us more confidence that it's looking like a wave 3. But at this point in time, no one knows, and we don't need to know. That's a really important factor. We don't need to know. So there you have it. What do you think with XRP? So we got our dashboard. Let me know if you're excited about the dashboard, by the way. I'm hoping to release it next week. We're going to make it very affordable. But it's a game changer, right? Because you can literally put in any asset. Let's just say, I don't know, Luna Classic's being a popular one, right? So you can just go, okay, I want to add Luna Classic here. So we just got Luna Classic, bang, and we just click on this, and we click OK. If we want to move this to the right-hand side, I've got some settings. I'll have some training with this as well. And now we've got Luna Classic over here, and it says a strong bear downtrend, but the immediate trend is up. What should we do? Is stand aside, right? So this is an absolute game changer. And make sure you download the chart for XRP, but do take advantage of the Black Friday. It's a no-brainer. I'm telling you, you absolutely love my courses. I've spent so much time, energy. I've been trading for 15 years, and I've given so much value here, and you get it for like less than £100. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let me know how you found today. It's all about logic and everything else. So let's finish with a quote from my book. Or let's go with. I'm going to go with. Let me go with. When I was 23 years old, I used to write all these quotes on my wall. I used to have this cork board. I used to print out quotes and pop them in. It's over a decade ago, over 15 years ago. And one of my favorites was from Churchill. I think it was Churchill. He said, if you want to experience the ocean, you must first build the courage to leave shore. So if you want to experience life, I think money is an important part of life. So if you can make a lot of money, whatever that means to you, then you can experience more things, have a bit more freedom, less stress, and look after your health and look after people around you. But to experience the ocean, to experience it, you have to build courage to leave shore. But there's a work ethic that's required as well. And it's, doing the training, doing the practice, being prepared to fail a number of times so you can succeed, because failure is an important ingredient to success. And I'll give you one more quote. I just love quotes, right? But I love the practical nature of the quotes. This one's from a book called Black Box Thinking. Beneath every success is a mountain of necessary failure. And failure is just incredible for learning. But you have to look for the silver lining in the failures to make sure you get the learning so you don't repeat the mistake or whatever the learning was. And then you kind of move one step forward as well. So it's all about growth, one step at a time. And it couldn't be more true for trading, because trading is a business. It requires decision-making skills. But if you can have mechanical, objective information to identify the trend, to have systems in play that can allow you to read the price psychology, because ultimately it's crowd psychology, whether you know that or not, you need to understand it's fear and greed that drives the markets on a macro scale. And then the Fibonacci ratios can be an incredible help. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, share this video, because this is, it's a powerful one, right? With XRP, whatever's going to happen, we don't know, but we'll see how it unfolds. But I'm looking now for my entry point in XRP to long it. I'll probably risk 2%. Not probably, I will risk 2% to find out if I'm right. If I'm right, we'll get a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x in terms of risk reward. And if I'm wrong, well, then we lose 2%, and then we just look and reevaluate and rinse and repeat.